Hello, welcome to Ask a Realtor, episode 16. What? Mind blown. Anyways, we got some cool topics to talk about tonight. Something a little crappy. Sewer lines. Do you get the pun? Do you get it? Oh my goodness. Sorry for the bad dad joke there, but gotta start it off light when we're talking about something that in home sales it's a large ticket item, and I just want to give you kind of a high level overview over how sewer lines work, what to anticipate when you're buying a home, and why you should always have your sewer line scoped, even if you're buying a condo. So I'm going to open up my chat box here and say, what's up, everyone? And if you want to talk about something else, real estate related, realtor related, what have you, leave it in the chat while we're live here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So awesome. And then I'm also going to share this video out there. I think, yeah, there it is. Awesome. I'm just going to share this out on social media. Nice. And then we'll get started. All right. Awesome. So, hello. I am Joseph Ausmus, the Realtor musician. Tonight on Ask a Realtor, we are talking about sewer lines and running a camera down a sewer line, and what that can tell you when you are buying a home. First of all, the important thing to understand about sewer lines is that sometimes they get clogged and they can back up, and that's when you might be running water in the home, and it will actually come up into the home, and that's why this is important. It's for health and sanitation reasons. Not to mention that the cost of doing a repair on a sewer line can vary greatly, and it can be very, very expensive as well. I've seen it range from $2,000 to 16 plus to do a partial or full sewer line replacement and or a spot repair. Depends on if they need to excavate, and how much they need to excavate, and how far down they have to go. Do they have to break concrete? That's why it's such a huge variance on those prices that I told you there. That's kind of the ranges that I've seen. I've seen it on the cheap end, a couple of grand to do a spot repair. They didn't have to dig too deep. They didn't have to break up concrete. Up to the 16K, and it can go up from there too, depending on what you have going on with your sewer line. So, what are some reasons that sewer lines back up? One could be a clog. What we see with a lot of newer homes is that the fixtures are water saving. The toilets are water saving. So at each flush, there's less water going down that drain, and that's all good and well for the environment. Absolutely. Less water use is a good thing when we have water shortages. Definitely not going to argue with anyone on that fact. That being said, with the water saving features on those fixtures, what we see is that sometimes stuff that's going down there, solids, for example, will get outran by the liquid, the water, and the water is just going to trickle by, and there's not enough volume there because it's a gravity fed system. There's not pumps involved with a sewer drain. It's gravity. The pipe is on a pitch, flowing downhill is the way that those systems are designed. So if it can't get enough water to have enough volume to push everything down, then you can get a clog. You can get stuff built up and stuck, and eventually it's going to clog and stop. and then your water backs up into the home, and then you've got sewage in your home, right? So then you got to call a plumber and have them come out and clear that line for you so it can continue to go down. So that's just a consideration with the newer toilet fixtures, water saving features. Keep that in mind. If you're experiencing backups, might be a good idea to run more water when you do flush, maybe flush twice, and that might help a lot with those backups, right? But you're buying a home where I'm going to switch gears now, and you want to have that sewer line inspected. Well, all the inspectors that I use have access to, or they have a referral partner that has access to a sewer scope camera, and it's basically a snake with a camera on the end that they just will open up a clean out if you have one, or sometimes if you don't, they'll go through a vent on the roof and go down that way. And if none of that's available, then what they might have to do is pull the toilet and go down that way. But they're going to run that snake down the line and camera your line, and they're looking for various things. They're looking for, obviously if it's blocked up, they'll be able to tell you that might just need to be cleaned. But there's other important things too. Is the line broken? Are there offsets in sections of pipe? So are some of them kind of offset like this? Because even though the pipe is continuous, those offsets are nice places for things to catch onto. Are there roots growing in to the pipe? That's a very common thing. That tree roots are traveling through the soil and they are seeking moisture and nutrients. And that line is full of fertilizer for them, so trees love to get into the sewer line, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you see roots in the line, it's just important to know that if you see roots in the line, that's going to be a continuous maintenance item for that. Probably once a year, you're going to want to have someone run that line for you, whether you're backing up or not. And honestly, do it when you're not backing up so that you don't have to deal with a backup. Do it as a preventative maintenance. Most of these companies are going to charge less in that instance to do it as a preventative versus an emergency call, right? So a little cheaper for you as well, and you're just being a responsible homeowner then. So roots in the line are not an indication that your line is bad and you need to replace it. I want to dispel that myth, just let you know what's going on there. But there are some other things to look for. We talked about the line has to be pitched for that gravity system to work. Well, what happens if you have settling with the soil after the home was built? Or if the line was just put in improperly and you don't have that pitch. If you have a flat line, or even worse, if you have it, to where it needs to go uphill a little bit, well, that's not going to work. Things are going to sit in that low spot. We call it a belly in the line. And the camera will reveal those bellies because it'll go, we'll have the inspector run some water down the line as well. And what we'll see on the camera is that you can see pipe, you can see tunnel, and then it goes underwater. And their camera can tell them at what depth, how far down the line they've gone. So let's say 50 feet down your line, then you go underwater and you come back up at 65. Well, the inspector can then tell you that you've got a 15-foot belly in there. Fun thing about a belly is because we can't see, because of that water in there, we can't see the condition of the pipe. We don't know if there's a crack in there, a hole, anything like that. So with those bellies, that's just something to bear in mind, that it's probably not an immediate thing that you got to dig up the yard and replace the line. But if it's causing you problems and the system is backing up, or let's say it's backing up and they cable the line and they're bringing back mud on the end of their cable. Well, mud's getting in because there's a hole in that sewer line, and dirt is getting in there, mixing with the water, creating mud. So if we see that, that's an indication that maybe it's time to excavate, dig up the yard, and we might need to replace a section of that pipe. So these are important things to know about when you're buying a home, because those costs are big and backups are no fun. Want to keep you and the inhabitants in your home safe and healthy, and this is part of it. So let me know if you have any questions about this stuff. We can talk more about this sort of inspection process for you in greater detail. But I wanted to keep this video short because it's kind of a gross topic, but an important one as a homeowner. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat. If you're watching this not live afterwards, that's all good. Please consider subscribing to the channel, because we do these Ask a Realtor videos. I did miss last week. I'm so sorry about that. I had a showing, but I'm trying to do this every single week, Wednesday nights for you, and just talk about various topics with buying a home, selling a home, what it's like to be a realtor, anything real estate related. And if you've got topics you want me to talk about on here, I would love to hear those questions from you. Or if you've got cool stories about anything pertaining to these subjects of real estate, send me your stories as well, because I want to share them on here on the channel as well. I think we all grow from this type of conversation, and it's a lot more fun when you're on here live with me to converse with me. But if you don't have an opportunity to see it live, that's completely cool. All the Ask a Realtor videos are recorded for posterity on my channel. Check it out, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Much love. Peace out.